All right. Woo! How you doing? You good, I hope. I hope you guys are okay. This is the Harbor Freight jerry can. It's pretty close to what the Germans were making during World War II. Next to it is a copy of what the Germans made in World War II. This one is from 1987. These styles, where the seam is in the center like this, is the best style jerry can. What the U.S. made in World War II, where there's a seam on the bottom, they're cool because a lot of them have USMC on them, so I like them for that reason. But they're prone to leaking if they've been dragged around on concrete a lot. This is the better design. But those other ones are neat for other purposes. Like you could cut these open and then turn them into tool kits and all that. If I found one of those USMC ones with the seam along the bottom, I might try that as a fun project. I bought this at while I was camping months ago up north at a thrift store. I popped in. I think I got this for like 26 bucks. And the interior lining, this is still a good can. I could still use this. When I bought this, one of the viewers of the channel, George Crusoe, you should check out his company, Extreme Outback Products. George makes the best, hands down, military grade air compressor for your tires on your vehicle. Eventually, one of these days, I'm going up there, and George has promised we're going to put a whole system in the van. And when we do that, I'll do a video on it and everything else. But George told me I was going to have a problem with this, and sure enough, this cap just disintegrated and started leaking. George also sent me a link to this, and that's what we're going to test right now. We're going to see if this actually fits. So this is a company called AI-13 Billet Products, and it's a billet aluminum cap. I'll show you the contact information here. And he also sent some stickers. Put those on the van here pretty shortly, if it works. And I got the receipt here. So this is it's basically $25 with shipping. Okay. There's the information on that. You guys can screenshot this and look that up. Seems like a nice guy. I want to take this filter out of here. So I've got something else at home, and I should have had it for this video. I picked up one of those, it's a hose that you put in here. It's got an end on it, and you shake it, and it'll start siphoning. It's an automatic siphon hose. So between that and this, it'll be easier to get the gas from this can into the van. Now, I talked about putting this thing under the van. I was going to maybe mount both of these tanks underneath the van where the spare tire used to be. I was talking to Dave about it the other day, and I think what we're really going to end up doing, Dave's like, I know some good welders. Why don't you make up a box out of plywood or something that'll fit underneath there? There's a cross member under the floor. This is all behind the axle, all right, underneath the van. Maybe I'll show it to you in this video. And I want to cut that free and possibly move it, create more space, and I want to do a tank back there that's going to be 15 to 20 gallons is what I think. I think I can do a tank that's about this high, right? Give or take. I'll make it exactly the right size and fit in that space there. Hey, I guess there was gas in this. Jeez. Woohoo. Just dumped out a bunch of gas for no reason. A professional YouTuber would have prepared for this and would cut all that out, but you guys know how it is here. How about we get to this? You guys are... I don't have my knife on me, which is very rare. Well, I do have a knife. I've always got more than one knife on me because I'm a man. Always have more than one weapon on your person at any given time. Let's see if this thing works. It sure is purty. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. Oh my God, that's just adorable. Oh I love it. I love it. Now, if I wanted to mount this can under the van, I can do so, like this. What's going to end up happening is, though, until that project happens, because you guys know I talk about stuff all the time, eventually I usually get to it. I did just slice my finger a little bit. But it takes a while, because I got a lot of stuff going on, right? So what I want to do, they sell them, but I'm going to talk to Dave about this, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to make our own rack. And there's a whole big discussion about not putting weight on the roof of your car and everything else, and I get it, and I agree. When you're off-road, if you go off camber, which I'm not really doing too much, the weight could get thrown off. But my goal would be to mount this at the back of the truck on the roof in the center. And I'm going to put gas in both of these cans and mount them in this fashion, right, for transport. And that's an extra 10 gallons of fuel right there because, you know, for places like Saline Valley, let's say, which I wish I was there right now. I have a friend coming in from out of town on the 26th of February, and she's going to be here for a little over a week. We're going to do a road trip out to Arizona. We won't need these cans at that time, but if we were planning to go to Saline, this is a great way to carry some gas. Not just Saline, but anywhere else. So temporarily speaking, for now, I'll rig this system. They won't be up there all the time. I will just put this whole system up there when I do my next excursion out into the middle of nowhere, so I've got the fuel. But eventually, the plan is, as I already mentioned, have a custom tank made for underneath the Astro van, and then we'll use a switch. I'll figure out a way to fill it, and we'll use a switch that'll pump the gas from there to the main fuel tank, which, as you guys know, is 27 gallons on the 3rd gen Astro van. If I can get 10 gallons back there, so 27, 37, if I can get 20 gallons, boy, that would be nice. It would be nice to get it to the point where it's about 50 gallons of fuel that you're carrying in the truck, because that'll get you a lot of places. And the beauty of putting a tank back there is you're keeping the weight low. Now, wanted to show you this. This is pretty much what the video is about. It's over. But you know me. I emailed this morning with TrakMotive, and Ed over there, I think it's Ed Snyder, maybe? I forget. Cool guy. TrakMotive was supposed to make me the front axles for this. So if you guys don't know, TrakMotive makes a really heavy-duty off-road axle designed specifically for 4x4 vehicles with a tall lift, because they work on the extreme angles. The way that they're designed, they'll run better that way. And they've got a shaft in the center that can extend. So if you are going and climbing and all these other things, it's just better. Of course, the rubber boots are better, everything else. Well, he says that they're done. And he says he's double checking today and tomorrow. I'll have an email today or tomorrow because they're not available for sale yet. But he's going to send me a set of those, right? I mean, this whole thing is happening because I'm the guy that went over there and let them look at the van. Now, these axles are specifically for Astro vans with a lift. So for those of you that have converted your Astro van to 4x4 and you put a lift on it and everything else, these are the axles you're going to want to buy. These are heavy-duty axles. I believe they have a lifetime warranty, but don't hold me on that right now. I think that's going to be the case. And when I get them, I'll do a video on it. I'll put them in. Once I get those axles, I'll be able to lift the front end a little bit more, which means I can then lift the rear end. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to go, I need to make some money first. If you guys want to send some donations, send them now. Or better yet, if any of you work for a leaf spring company, or you have a connection with a leaf spring company, I've got numbers of some of them right around here. It's not that big of a deal, but it ain't going to be cheap. It's probably going to cost me $1,000 or more. Who the hell knows? I could be way off on that. My plan is to have some custom springs made that are not overly rigid, right? But they're going to give me the right suspension. They're going to be made specific for the vehicle, because we know that the driver's side of the Astro van is heavier. So, because the gas tank's on that side, of course, a lot of us have a build where there's more stuff on that side. You can't put as much on the passenger side in the build because the sliding door is there. So I want to have these springs made so that the van sits level, obviously, and I want to add about an inch or so, maybe a little bit more, of lift on the rear end, so that I can then get this front end up, which now I'll be able to do once, because the TrakMotive axles are going to be in there. You understand what's happening? Can't do the rear end till I can lift the front end as well. Can't really lift the front end anymore. It was higher. I cranked it down a bit to get my CV axles more level to the ground. Right now my van is about an inch lower than it was 8 months ago or so. So we're going to get the whole thing up a little bit higher. That's just going to give us more clearance with the wheels, so when we're off-road, less rubbing. And we're just getting this dialed in. And when we do the axles, I'm going to talk more about why your Astro van is never going to be a super hardcore off-road vehicle. It's going to be pretty good, but you have to remember, this is not a full-frame vehicle. It's just got that front frame clip up there. It's bolted. I think there's 6 bolts that holds that in place. So, you know, you want to go slow when you're off-road in these things. We'll talk about all that. I'll give you a whole discussion on what my thoughts are with this van and getting it to where it, right now where my van is at, it's pretty robust. There's a lot of people out there that do this straight axle conversion, and I talked with a guy about it. It was going to cost me about $8,000 to $10,000 by the time it was all said and done, with buying a front end from a Jeep and everything else. And I thought about it, and I realized, in my opinion, it's a waste of money. Because if you get this van to a point where you need the strength of a solid axle in the front, well, and in four-wheel drive, you're likely going to rip the whole front clip off the truck. It just doesn't make any sense. So that's why I went to TrakMotive. I think what we're going to end up having here with the TrakMotive axles is going to be a big deal for those of us who like to get a little crazy in these things off-road. I'm very excited about it, and I'm excited mainly because I'm helping the community out here, because I think a lot of you guys are going to be happy with that product. It's going to solve a lot of your problems, all right? Anyhow, this is really supposed to be about this gas cap, and it sounds silly, but boy, I sure do. I like how pretty it is. Trying to want to get the threads right to where when I screw it down, well, I guess that's just going to have to be. Anyhow, it says it right on there. Coarse thread, AI-13 US, made in the USA. Made in the USA. Doesn't get better than that. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this. There's a little bit of everything on the van here, but I just wanted to show you this. I think these cans, I don't know, maybe they're on sale for $60 or so. 70, 85, so 85, 90 bucks. Under 100 bucks, you can have a decent can with a good solid aluminum thing that's going to seal, not going to break on you. They sell versions of this now, the Wavion, and it's pretty cool. It's got another contraption here that'll clip on here that's got a spout on it and everything else. I believe they're over $100 a piece, plus you have to figure in your shipping and everything else. So this might be a less costly option for you. And you can go to Harbor Freight and buy this right away. You can order these beforehand, and you could probably save money and have it. Pretty much instant gratification. I ordered this. It was at my house within a couple days. So that was pretty cool as well. So once again, AI-13, made in the USA. That's it for now. You guys have a great day. Be kind to one another, and I'll catch you in the next one.